Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Make sure you subscribe, all right, for new videos just like this all the time. I'm going to go over with you my favorite way to how to make a thumbnail using Snappa. It's going to be awesome, so sit down. Let's go. First things first, you're going to go ahead and go to snappa.com, okay? snappa.com. All right, it's pretty simple and it's absolutely free. You do have to kind of con the system though, and I'll tell you how to do that in just a little bit. That way you can always get everything for free. Just go ahead and start your sign up, your name, your email, and a password. All right. Make sure you hit that you agree to the terms and conditions, and then hit get started for free. All right. Now, there is a stipulation with Snappa being free is that you only get 5 downloads per email address that you use. So if you have multiple email addresses, then you could say maybe multiply that by however many email addresses you have. Just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that you should do that, but I'm saying it would work if you did do that. All right. Okay, cool. All right, so once you have accepted those terms and conditions, you're going to hit accept. It's going to bring you to your account, and there's going to be this guy that pops up that tries to give you a tutorial. Okay, you click play. It's going to do this thing, and he's going to talk like this the whole time. And you don't need that because that's why I'm here. So you can go ahead and click right on out of that guy. And then I'm going to run through all of the things that you can do on Snappa, all right? Like Facebook post and links and Instagram post and LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube thumbnails, tweets, Twitter tweets, Tweeter twits. I don't know. I don't even use Twitter or whatever. Yeah, Facebook cover photos, event covers, things for Twitch. You can do your thumbnails, your channel art, your email headers. You can do all types of ads for a lot of different platforms. There's tons of things you can do with Snappa, but today I'm going to focus on thumbnails. And it's very, very easy to use this software, I think. And I think it's more efficient than a lot of other competitors that they have out there, being that it's so streamlined and you don't have to do a lot of crazy things. For this YouTube thumbnail, we're always going to remember that the dimensions are 1280 by 720. Other than that, if you use anything other than that, it's going to make it look pretty weird, and that's not what we're really trying to do. As you can see, Snappa has a ton of pre-made layouts that you can choose from for these. I know some of these probably look familiar, but you can customize these any way that you want to. These are just really just an idea for you to get and see, and once you click on those, you can make them however you'd like. And so you can just kind of go off those and be like, yeah, I like this one. I'll change the colors and I'll put my own words in there, and then we'll be good to go. And once I find one I like, that's exactly what I'm going to do for this video too. Here are just a few more of the ideas, and I think I actually found one that I like up there. Yeah, I did. I'm going to use that one. But yeah, so those are all types of different ideas. As you can see, there's a ton of them. Quite a bit more ideas than a lot of their competitors. I will say that. I'm not going to put anybody down or say you should or should not use certain things, but yeah. So I'm going to pick this one right here. All right, I like the way it's set up. It looks different. I'm just going to go with it this time so I can give you a good example of how to set these up. All right, so we survived that wait, which was horrendous. So the first thing that I always want to do is go ahead and label this picture. That way I don't get them mixed up once I save them and try to upload them anywhere. And that, I always find this pretty important. You might not. It's all right. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. Do what you want to do, boo-boo. Make sure you save that, and you can come over and you can put a background behind this template if you want. And they have a lot of stock photos that you can use and put it behind there and make it pretty interesting. And I'll show you a couple examples of how those look and what those look like and whatnot. First, I'm going to actually put my titles in there, though, so that way I can see how the colors are going to contrast with what I put in the background. And obviously, I want that to be exactly what is going on in this video, and that's how to create a YouTube channel. Okay, that's exactly what I'm making that thumbnail for. And that's what you want to keep in mind when you're making a thumbnail too. You either want to have your thumbnail tell a story, and then, or you want your thumbnail to say exactly what's going on in that video. And in this case, I was making this thumbnail for a video about how to create a YouTube channel. All right. It's just so happened that I recorded myself doing it, and now I'm making a video on how to use Snappa. So, you know, it is what it is. It's a game that I have to play, but you know, it's all right. So a kind of a trick that I've learned from some of these folks on YouTube that are pretty popular is that, you know, a lot of the colors that you want to use are pretty simple, like red and white. And there's a few things that you'll see in a lot of people's thumbnails, and that'll be a border around their thumbnail that is usually red. And you'll see that there's a certain font that people use for YouTube usually, and that's called Verbato. And as you can see, they have a ton of different fonts you can choose from. The one that I'm going to use on this one is going to be Verbato for the one that is actually talking about YouTube. And then I'm going to kind of center it up a little bit. They have cool little tools that'll show you the lines, like exactly where, you can see them popping up exactly where like center will be or the end of it will be or things like that. You just want to make sure everything's kind of squared away. There's your text boxes up there. There's your backgrounds right here. And then here's the stock images that I was telling you about. And I'll put a couple of these behind there just to show you what they look like. You know, and I don't think I'm going to use any of these, but regardless, they look pretty cool. And a lot of times they can be pretty beneficial with making your thumbnails stand out. Here's one. You don't, obviously it's not going to work because of that, but you get the idea. You see how it works, and they'll all just kind of fit in there. All you have to do is double click the picture in the scroll down box, and it'll automatically go and get behind whatever template you have on there. So it works out either way. And this is the last one that I'll show you, but just an idea of how it could work and different things you could do for it. I think I'm just going to end up putting a color behind it and calling it a pretty easy day on that. Which, to do that, you just go right back up to where you were at with photos and go over to colors or the other tab, and then you can actually just pick one right there. And I'm just going to grab one out of here. This one, you know, it kind of looks interesting. You could just do a white one, which I'm not going to do a white one. But for now, I'll go ahead and show you exactly how to do the border. All right, you just go over to shapes and you pick these lines out, okay? You take these lines and you drop them and drag them right across the top of the page to where they're going to be even on all four corners. So you have to do 4 separate lines. It is a little tedious, but all you got to do is drop them and then pull them all the way across, and it'll work out just fine for you. And then once that's done, you can adjust the width and you can adjust the color. I'm not going to mess with the width any in these ones, but I am going to mess with the color. And all I did there was I used the arrows to turn them 90 degrees so they'll go straight down. And it's okay that they overlap because you are going to be changing the color to the same color, so you'll never see it in the corners or anything like that. And once I get this one pulled down, which is always the tough one, I don't know why Canva has a problem with that corner. But every thumbnail that I make has a problem in that corner. I don't know if it's my computer or if it's Snappa, but it's interesting. So then you can come over to the colors and actually pick custom colors, and I always go to the top right in the red because it's the brightest red that you can get. And I make all 4 of those that bright red. And I forget whose YouTube channel said that was a good idea, but it's just something that I've gotten a habit of doing. And you know, if I ever become a huge YouTuber, then I'm just going to say it's because I had a red border around my thumbnails. All right, that's just how that's going to go, all right? And then another person said something about arrows, big red arrows, scientifically being proven to have, you know, a higher click-through rate for your thumbnails. And I don't know if that's true or not. In some of my videos I do that, some of them I don't. In this one, I'm not going to do it, but I will show you how to get to the arrows. You just go to the graphics and type in arrows, and they give you a whole bunch of different arrows you can choose from. You can change the colors of all those, and it's pretty cool. And it's not something that I'm going to do in this video, but it's an option there for you if you want to have that. From here, I'm going to show you how to add some text. All right, you can add a huge heading, little heading or subheading, right? And it's just really the size, but you can change the font size in any of them. So to me, it doesn't really matter. I'm always going to use the biggest one because they're usually bigger, bolder letters, and you want that to be your main focus when you're building a thumbnail because you want it to be very focal. You want to be able to look at it even without clicking on the picture and see what's going on and not have to guess. So you want your letters to be big and bold. So that's why I always use the first heading, the big heading, and not the smaller ones. And then I'm just going to add at the bottom the same thing I add into every thumbnail. And that is just a thing that I use for continuity, and it kind of brands my channel, right? So everything that I do is kind of like a how-to, and it's step by step. So I make sure to put that in every thumbnail. If you are trying to do something for your channel like that as well, it's a good idea. It could help you kind of brand it and kind of, set the tone for your channel. That way when someone new comes and looks at it, they look at all your different thumbnails that are lined up in your playlist and they're like, wow, this guy is, one, he's consistent. Two, I know exactly what he's doing and it's consistent and it's, the same thing and I like that. Or, they're going to be like, oh, whatever, I'm going to leave. All right. But, it is what it is. You just got to, try it all out. And if it works, it works. Find the thing that does work and go with it. You know what I mean? That's all you can do. So you can mess with all the saturations and the brightness and the contrast and all that stuff when you're over here too. It's just one of those things you can test out. I don't really mess with it as much, but you can always do that. I'm going to put one of these pictures behind here just to kind of spice it up a little bit, I guess. And it's kind of between the one with all those. Yeah, this one, I think I might use this one. Just depends if I can get it to sit right on there. And then once I have that, I'm gonna mess with the saturation and the biggest thing with that is you want your thumbnail to pop. All right, so you do want to add some saturation into that and take a little bit of contrast out. So a little bit of saturation up and a little bit of contrast down. That way it makes it sharper and it makes it stand out a little bit more. And that way if nobody's edited the thumbnail above you or below you, yours is going to be a little bit more eye-catching, if that makes sense. And right now I'm just recentering because I was messing with it a little bit. I'm just testing out which background is going to work more. I actually do end up picking that one once I crop it a little bit, but I'm just trying to see which one is going to look the best. And that's something you want to do with your thumbnails too, because you don't want to just willy-nilly just throw something together real fast and then go post it, because you might have an awesome video, but 10 out of the 11 people that want to watch your video might not, because your thumbnail doesn't say, hey, open this. Like, hey, I have something to show you in here. If you just put it together, then they're just going to be like, man, this guy's kind of a joke or whatever it is, and they're going to judge you by your cover. That's literally what you're doing. You're setting yourself up to be judged by your cover. You want to make sure that they judge you well enough to open the book. And now I'm just messing around with the colors of the background here, and you can do all kinds of stuff. Everything on here is absolutely customizable, which is great because they can give you a template, and as you can see, the template that I took from them, this looks nothing like it. It looks nothing like it at all. So you can definitely customize it, and that's pretty awesome. You can mess around with the colors and stuff like that. I don't think I'm going to change too much from the original of what I had, but you can be very, very customized with everything that you do in this, especially the color schemes. I'm not huge on colors. I'm going to always try to keep it as basic as possible and as relaxing on the eyes as possible, because I know some people are just kind of really out there with colors, and that's just not something that I always look forward to. And the last thing that you want to do is you want to download this, okay? So once you go ahead and download it, it's going to pop up and give you a little notification on the side there, and then that's all you have to do, okay? And that's it. That is all. That is how you build a thumbnail with Snappa.